Community Beacon, Fridays at 6:30 EST, with your hosts Michaeldseville and Joel Simmons. A channel whose focus is liberty. A place where the lessons discussed and taught will create openings to a more open and freer mindset. A mindset where you may reach the height of your potential and excel. Here are your hosts, Mike and Joel.
What is going on? What is going on, people? It is Community Beacon, which means it's Friday. It's 6:30. I am your host, Mike Seville here, your South Florida real estate guy. And on the other side of the screen, we got the co-host with the most, my brother Joe from the Tenacity Foundation. What is going on, brother?
Hey, all is well today, man. Let's go. Let's get it. I love it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it, guys. Real quick housekeeping. Remember to like, subscribe, share, depending on what platform you're on. Every like counts, every comment counts, every subscription counts. So depending on what platform you're on, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, bing, and then we'll get right, and then it'll help us out. So help us out a little bit, help a brother out, right? Guys, the next thing is that we have What It Takes. What It Takes every Monday night, right at around 9 o'clock. Guys, check me out, man. This month we're culminating it. This is the last Monday of the month, or actually we have one more month. Yeah, this is the last Monday coming up. Guys, we'll be finishing out Mindset. So come check me out on Mondays at 9 o'clock. What It Takes. And brother, it starts with who is on Wednesday?
Starts with me. All right. We got Joseph K coming in. He'll be in the house. My man right here has done some phenomenal things. He's doing this amazing wrestling. You wouldn't even have guessed it. He's got this great background where he got out of jail and he started to just change his life. He is actually about to do another bout. He's going back into the wrestling ring. You can even find me on his show, Get the Real. So please check this out.
Check out the wrestling. We know we're in the South when we hear wrestling. Guys, and of course, it's Friday at 6:30, Community Beacon, where we're closing it out. Our month of gratitude. And hopefully you all had a great Thanksgiving. Let us know about it. What you all have? What's for leftovers? I might come by and grab a plate, man. So shouts out to us here at 6:30. So we're headed into this the end of this month of gratitude. We want to start it off with a question, right, brother? You had a great question, an excellent question, and I'm happy for us to get into it.
Yeah. How can attitude of gratitude shape your life, right? How can attitude of gratitude shape your life? I think that this is a really, really important concept right here because it's like the attitude of gratitude is very important. That's what I think. So I think that it's shaping our life, has the opportunity to change our life, you know. And with that being said, man, let me ask you something, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on, brother?
Every morning, in the midst of all the things that you do in the morning, what do you do? What do you focus on so that you can have a good day? What are some of the things you do?
Everything that I do? I mean,
amongst all the things that you do, what are some of the things that you focus on?
I got an entire process, so I focus on each process. I guess I couldn't really break it down to one thing that I do. But if in relation to gratitude, it's definitely up there.
So I think that that's really important. You know, how can attitude of gratitude shape your life? Well, listen, the attitude of gratitude can help you by this. This is my belief, right? Positivity generally brings positivity. Everything in life has this attraction. So when a person wakes up and they figure out what they're grateful for, it automatically begins a positive environment and it begins a positive attitude. It begins a positive mindset. Positive mindsets attract positivity. And this is like the reason behind that question. I'd love to hear what people think all over the place, because when I get up and I say my prayers and I take time for meditation, I take time to go by the house of prayer, to go to a church service, to have, my spiritual cup filled. I take time to go by the beach, to rest myself. I get up a little early to do these different things. But when I put all that in motion, I get rid of negative energy, and I become just this very grateful, in tune individual who wants to do great in the day. I at that point in time, I'm ready to deliver something, give something to somebody, maybe teach them something, help them with something, and I'm ready to receive something. And from that point on, I'm ready to grow. So this attitude of gratitude is like shaping who I am, what I can do in that day, and how that day affects other people also. Because I also realize that how I show up in the room affects how other people show up in the room. If I show up in the room grateful and positive, then my environment, it changes, because people want to be around positive, grateful individuals. And those that don't, they tend to leave the environment. So this is just one of the things that I'm thinking about, Mike. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I think last week and after further thought, last week we kind of spoke about the grounding part of it. And if you wake up, part of beginning, it's best to get grounded in the morning, right? Like if you can get grounded at any point in time, thank God you can do it throughout the day. But if you can get it done in the morning, it'll definitely open up your day, right? So if we're grounded in this attitude of gratitude, then you're right. Like attracts like, right? It's the law of attraction. Like tends to attract like. And just being able to jump up and do it. So how do you do it though? So for me personally, it's not just about thinking it, so for the morning, I think it's an even more powerful way to do it is to actually start to write a lot of these different things down, and I used to do, before I was on the phone, I used to just put it in my notes. I would add 3 things a day. Every day I would add 3 things. I would look at the prior list, and then I would add 3 more things possible. And some of the stuff could be what some people could call some of the most minute things. First off, you thank for breath, for life. Like that I think before I even read the Bible, that's one of the first things that happened. And also here's something as well, is doing it before you go to sleep. That's a powerful practice. If you go to sleep with that thought in your mind of being grateful for making it through the day, not having any, and a lot of us have gotten crazy news at nighttime. So doing that, like that's a powerful. So now you wake up with it. If gratitude is the last thing on your mind, right? Not the bills, not something that you're not looking forward to the next day. It's gratitude. Like, hey, thank God for giving me this chance. You wake up in the morning, thank God for another chance. There's a young lady on Facebook that does it every morning. I think she's up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, wherever she's at. And on my Facebook, and that's one of the first things I see is thank God for another chance. So that attitude of gratitude just plays out to me in such an important way of just like you mentioned, like how am I walking around? You know what I mean? If I'm too tired, hey, I'm grateful for getting moving, brother.
I like that. And so I also like that part what you're talking about when you start to break down the different things that need to happen. So, all right, when we have a thought, we're thinking, I'm going to be grateful. I want to be grateful. What am I grateful for? All right. So all of a sudden we take that belief and we have potential with it. And that potential then helps us also. Let me pull this up. This is exactly what I wanted to share right here. And let's see, I got this window. Let me share this with you all. And so I pulled this up. This is exactly what I was looking for while you were talking, because this is what started to just like touch me. Belief. The amount of belief you have determines the amount of potential you can tap into. And from that belief, you end up with this potential. The amount of potential you tap into determines the amount of action you can take, right? And then the amount of action you take determines the results you get. The results you get determine your belief in yourself, and your belief then potentially builds. So it's like this belief cycle. When you start off with gratefulness as a belief, and like Mike said, when you pre-program your mind before you go to sleep, you pre-program your mind for what you're grateful for. Number one, your mind subconsciously thinks about that throughout the day. It's just constantly thinking, or throughout the night, it's just constantly thinking about what you're grateful for. So you're sleeping, and when you wake up with gratefulness on your mind. I'll never forget one preacher. He used to tell us we'll be out during Holy Convocation, and while we're out that night, we'd be up late, with the man of God, and he'd preach, and then we go and get something to eat, and we get back in the hotel room, and it'd be like 12 o'clock. But he would always say, go to sleep with waking up on your mind. Like, this is the power of faith, y'all. Yeah. Go to sleep with waking up on your mind. So the power of belief, this is what Mike was just saying. If you go to sleep with gratefulness, like, I'm grateful that I have my mama. I'm grateful that I have my dad. I'm grateful that I have my wife. I'm grateful that I have my children. I'm grateful that I have my job. I'm grateful that I got a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I got two hands. Maybe I only got one. I'm grateful I only got one hand. Maybe I don't have arms and I got feet. I'm grateful I got 2 feet, because there's always something. My dad would always tell me the things that are going wrong in your life, and I can take you right now to a place where somebody would gladly swap out your troubles for theirs.
Absolutely.
Gladly. So gratefulness is a belief, y'all. It's a belief. And Mike believes this. So that creates potential, creates the action, creates the results, which increases your belief, which increases your potential. And this is a cycle. It's just like that old song of Jacob's Ladder. Every round goes higher and higher. What you got to say, brother?
I love it. And I believe the belief, and because when you spoke on the belief, it gave me a feeling. So when you come to the question of how can an attitude of gratitude can shape your life, it gives you the feeling of belief, the feeling of belief, and the feeling of belief when you can feel something, and I'm talking about as much as you could reach out and touch it. You know what I mean? That's what belief is. It's like it's not there, but I can reach out and touch it. That means that gratitude has a feeling to it. Real, true gratitude has a feeling to it. Real, true gratitude gets you in motion, gets this motion happening, the action happening. Real, true gratitude, and if it has an action to it, then it has a temperature to it. So that means real, true gratitude got a temperature to it, right? Because that's what the action, that's what energy is. Energy is temperature. So you can feel it. So here's one real quick thought. If you're not feeling it, then you don't have that. You're not having the gratitude. You're not having the belief. Therefore, that might be the reason why it's not shaping your life. Let's not do empty things, because we can get caught up in doing like a lot of empty things, and we're not necessarily having that the feeling of it, and then we wonder why things aren't changing. Well, Mike, I got up and you told me to write down what I'm thankful for. Are you really thankful for it? Or are you just doing it because we told you to do it? So this is how this attitude of gratitude is shaping your life. And if it's not shaping your life, then we can easily go back and say, okay, well, we need to go back and really think on this list. Or you're just going through the motions of it. I love it, brother. That's my thought on it.
Yeah. I like that. I like that last part that you said too. I mean, I loved a lot of that stuff, man. I was over here. I was doing my little Rocky Balboa thing, punching the bag. I was like, boy, he hitting all of that stuff. Whew. Whoa, he hit the body bag so hard that the coach is feeling it on the left and the right. You know what I'm saying? Whoa! All right. So, man, but like that last piece that you said was so deep, right? Remember we talked about this, Mike, when we talked about stay high, right? And this was the acronym. The acronym was to be honest, integrity filled, genuine, and humble, right? So it's like we're saying, listen, this is what we do. I don't know what people out there do. I know Mike is a humble guy. I know he's genuine. I know he's got, when it comes down to integrity, bar none. This dude is absolutely honest, but his integrity is just like through the roof. You can't contain it. You just can't contain it. It's like a fire. It'll burn the roof down because his integrity is that intense. So when it comes down to it, right? Where am I going with this? The words that he just said, that was the mic drop. In that cycle, it started off with belief, went to potential, went to action, and then ended with results. If you're not seeing results from these things that you're doing, then maybe it's because you weren't intentional. Maybe it was because it wasn't genuine. That's deep. That's real deep. It's like you just can't do it. It just can't be empty actions. You got to feel it. And when you don't feel it, you pound it into yourself. Reprogram yourself. Say it out loud. Like Mike said the other show, get in a cold shower. Scream that joker out. Scream it out. I'm grateful for my life. You got to change what's inside of you so that you are able to receive the results of what you're seeking. If you're seeking to have new life, you got to change your belief system. An attitude of gratitude can shape a man's walk and make him walk better. And everything, the law of attraction, Mike, you said it, the law of attraction, when I feel good, people around me will feel good because only people that feel good want to be around me. Nobody else wants to be around me because maybe I feel too good and my light is overshining their darkness and they want to hide, so they got to run and leave. But Mike ain't afraid because he's got an attitude of gratitude.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't be afraid to let your light shine. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Man, I think this was a month well spent. The attitude of once again, going back to it being foundational and it being grounding. And never, don't be afraid. This is my takeaway from it, because I'm hoping that we get some tangible things out of this. Is that don't be afraid to go back and actually ground yourself in this gratitude. Okay, you forgot this morning because you jumped off the bed and stubbed your toe on the way to the bathroom, whatever it is, and gratitude just shot out, or maybe your alarm went off too late. That's always happening. Now you got to rush out to get to where it is that you got to get going. Once you get there, once you have this thing and make this, because eventually you'll be able to walk in gratitude. Once you come to the thought process of it, once you make it intentional, you know what I mean? Then you can ground yourself at any point in time. Yeah, it's great to do it when you first wake up. But like I said, things may happen and you're not necessarily in that routine, or you don't have the habit of it. But eventually, but as throughout the day, don't be afraid to go outside, take a deep breath and say, I'm thankful for just that. Go in the bathroom and say, I'm thankful for. Look in the mirror and say, I'm thankful for just that. I hopefully, if one of the things that you take away from the month is that it's never too late to be grateful for something, guys. Man, I love it, brother.
I love it. Listen, y'all, it's time for us to wrap up, but we are so glad that you showed up to help us close out the month of November. We hope that your Thanksgiving was absolutely amazing. Remember, please, please, please tell us, what do you think about the attitude of gratitude? Put it down inside the chat. What is your philosophy on the attitude of gratitude? Check out Michaeldseville, the host, the real estate king over there. That's the man. Check him out on his YouTube channel, Michaeldseville YouTube. Check us out on Tenacity Foundation YouTube. We're out of here. Peace.